How we doing today, Fouhy?
I'm doing good. What's going on, fellas?
Can't complain. Good weekend for local
I know.
sports.
I love the rain. It's
Yes.
nice to get a little cloudy weather and some rain coming down.
And
It's awesome.
and when it rains, your sportscast goes to what? A
Well,
minute?
a
minute and
weather
a half.
action day. A weather action day.
Weather action day at ABC 15 today. All right.
That's right.
All right.
Right.
Well, let's get some Factor Fouhy in us today. All right. Question number one: the Suns fans are finally seeing what we have been expecting the entire year from the Big Three. Factor Fouhy. Finally.
It's about damn time.
Fact. Finally, we've got a sample size now. We're 42 games into an 82-game schedule. Yes, we're over halfway through the schedule, and we're finally seeing the Big Three with 91 combined points last night against the Pacers. Unbelievable.
Does it concern you, Coach, that they're finally getting their act together, but the bench is averaging 5 points a game off the bench, one way or the other?
Well, they got 9 last night.
Oh, they got 9.
They got 9 off the bench.
Yeah.
Let's see, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they got 9 off the bench.
Yeah.
No, listen, we've been talking about the bench all along, and that's the one thing that Frank Vogel said last week. He's like, look, I think last night maybe, he was asked about the first half of the season. He goes, well, we got a chance to play a lot of bench guys, a lot of role players to see who would show up, right? So they know what they don't have in the bench, and now James Jones has to go to work before the trade deadline.
And speaking of that, question number 2, with the Suns' current play, there will be no need for a true point guard at the trade deadline on February 8th. Factor Fouhy.
Well, that's a tough question because you've isolated just one position.
Yep.
I think they need a point guard somewhere on the bench to come off, somebody that can play that position. I'd like to see it so that we're not relying on Devin Booker all the time. But when you've got players like Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, any one of those guys can play point guard, right? They can all bring the ball up court and set up the offense. So I'm not overly concerned about that, but I think you've got to have some scorers, some guys coming off the bench that can actually help these guys get a little rest. I mean, you look at Durant played 40 minutes last night. Beal played 38. Booker played 36. That's a lot of minutes for these guys in the regular season.
All right, I'm going to change the topic of conversation then and go to football. What? Okay, Fouhy, right in your wheelhouse. Right. Here we go, pal. The current rule of a fumble by the offense and have it roll through the end zone and out of bounds for a touchback. Now, I didn't write this. Manooch did.
Just read it, Jimmy.
Is a fair rule and should remain. Factor Fouhy.
Is a fair rule and should remain.
Yes.
Yes. If you're stupid enough to fumble the ball and have it run through the end zone as an offense, give it to the other team.
Damn right.
I mean, what else are you going to do? Give them the ball at the goal line and say it's your ball because you fumbled it? No. Listen, it's different than going out of bounds on the sideline. Mm-hmm. You went through the end zone and out at the side of the end zone. It's a different rule. So call it a touchback. Give the ball to the Bills.
And my whole contention was, okay, so what's the option? Give it to the offense out of bounds at the 1 inch yard.
No,
whatever. No, you lost the ball.
I just think hold on to the ball. Don't fumble it there. It's like give yourself a chance.
All right, number 4, the Buffalo Bills are cursed as wide right continues to haunt them. Factor Fouhy.
That was hard for me to
hold on. I'm going to call my neighbor Kevin because he's a Buffalo guy and a Bills fan. Let me ask him. Yes, they're cursed.
Yes.
They cannot get past the Chiefs. They can't get out of the divisional round. I mean, this team, I feel bad for them. It's kind of like the old days, right, with Jim Kelly. Mm-hmm. I mean, 4 Super Bowls, lose every one of them. I mean, holy cow. That's just awful for these guys. This is what, 3 out of 4 years now?
Oh, the long-suffering Buffalo Bill fans, Coach. Can you just imagine? All right, Coach, question number 5. 49ers defensive back Ambry Thomas is a pass interference call waiting to happen and could prevent the Niners from beating the Lions. Factor Fouhy.
Fouhy on that. You know what's gonna prohibit the Niners from beating the Lions is Deebo Samuel on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I don't care about pass interference calls. Listen, I've always, when I was coaching, I was like, guys, instead of giving up a touchdown, get a pass interference call. That at least gives us a chance.
Yeah, right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Don't just give up a touchdown and say, well, Coach, I would have had pass interference. So what? He didn't score. We got another chance to line up and stop him. No, I'm more concerned about Deebo Samuel being on the sidelines versus being on the field in uniform than I am about pass interference calls or defenders. I just think this is going to be a good game. I think the 49ers are the better team, but I'm sure pulling for the Lions. I like these. I like Dan Campbell. I like the Jared Goff story. I mean, I just like it all.
I find that to be a very, very highly impactful story with what has taken place in Detroit and how the city has rallied around that team, Fouhy, and also how the team has rallied around the city.
Yeah. Listen, I'm being pulled in different directions because I'm a big Brock Purdy fan, right? I mean, the kids from here, you know him, Manuch. I mean, listen, that Purdy family, I want to see them have success. I want to see them make it to the Super Bowl. But at the same time, how do you cheer against Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and what these Lions have gone through? 1991, the last time they were in a championship game. That's just awful.
You gotta love his nickname. Dan Gamble is what they call him there in the in Detroit. From that, you just wonder if that ever catches up to him. You go, okay, we're going to go for it. Where you should just take the points. And I'm very conservative in a playoff situation. If you get the points, get the points. There's a time and place for everything. But I just wonder if the Dan Gamble catches up to him in an inopportunistic time.
But everybody's doing it, Manuch. Everybody's doing it. It's like everybody's saying analytics. 4th and 5 or shorter, go for it. Fake punt, line up for a fake. To me, it's like, and Mark May and I talk about this in the fall when we're doing our show in college football. What happened to a gut feeling? What happened to a feel for the game, the flow of the game, right? What happened to decision making instead of just going, well, analytics says to do this, do that. Clearly, Todd Bowles did not have the Buccaneers ready to play in inclement weather because they didn't play as well as they could have in Detroit.
Fouhy, as always.
I know. Did you hear that backstory?
I'm laughing hysterically that you referenced that.
Jimmy said that she must have been a news person that was just set out to do the interview.
Yeah.
She was.
Hey, Fouhy, if your news director sends a news person to do sports, run to him and say, no, don't do that.
We've had it happen in the past.
1 minute.
I've spent weeks trying to apologize to the team.
I'm sure you have.
So, yes. We've been in those shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Fouhy.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a good week.
Fellas.
That's ABC 15's Craig Fouhy. Today, he is brought to you by All City Towing. If you're looking for a career that pays great, has great benefits, All City Towing. They are looking for new people to join their team. Head to allcitytowing.com and search careers. That's allcitytowing.com and search careers. All City Towing. Statewide service, and they answer your call 24/7. One thing real quick I didn't get to on this day, it's pretty important. The NBA announced expansion franchise licenses. They were awarded to the Phoenix Suns on this day back in 1968. Who was the other